So starting with the worksheet, review expression, review worksheet solution. Let's start with the question number one. Question number one, say about anemia. Hemoglobin is the protein molecule in red blood cells that carries oxygen from the lungs to the body's tissues and returns carbon dioxide from the tissues to the lungs. Less hemoglobin than normal in each red blood cell can cause anemia. The lack of iron is the most common cause of anemia. Some signs of anemia include weakness, heart palpitations, dizziness, headache, and ringing in the ears. To increase the hemoglobin level, one should have modified diet rich in vitamin B12 and iron, which is essential for the rapid rise in the hemoglobin level. The adjacent document shows the change in the concentration of oxyhemoglobin as a function of the oxygen tension, pressure, and the lungs. Pick out from the text the role of hemoglobin. What is hemoglobin? Role is the protein molecule in the red blood cells that carry oxygen from the lungs to the body tissues and return carbon dioxide from the tissues to the lungs. This is the role of hemoglobin. So if I ask, let's say, let's have Adam Yahya. Adam, do you listen to me? Do you hear me? Adam? Yeah, Adam has a problem with the connection. So let's pick other student other than Adam. Let's have, for example, let's have Yasmina. Yasmina, hello. Hello, Yasmina.
Yes, yes,
Do you hear me?
yes.
Okay, so please, Yasmina, we want from you to analyze this graph. This graph is showing the variation of the amount of hemoglobin as a function of tension. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so can you analyze it, please?
At zero tension,
Yeah,
the
tension
amount
was
of
zero.
yes, the amount
Yes,
of oxyhemoglobin was 0.
0%. Yes, as the tension
When it
increases,
yes, it reaches to 20 millimeter.
millimeter Hg.
Yes, until
Yes,
it reaches
110. As it
40%.
increases from zero, you can say as it increases from 0 to 110, the percentage of oxyhemoglobin increases from 0 to about 99, let's
100.
say
Yes.
99%. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Yasmina. So, what are the causes and the symptoms of the anemia? Some signs of anemia, these are the symptoms. Okay? Symptoms of anemia, they are breathlessness, heart palpitation, dizziness, headache, ringing in the ears. The causes of anemia, less hemoglobin than normal can cause. Also, the lack of iron is the most cause of anemia. So these are the causes of anemia. Referring to the document, you have to transform this graph into a table. So you have to use all the values and transform it into a table. Analysis. As Yasmina said, as the pressure increases from 0 to 110 millimeter Hg, so the amount of oxyhemoglobin, it increases from 0 to about 98 to 99%. So this means the amount of oxyhemoglobin is directly proportional to the tension. So as the tension increases, the amount of hemoglobin will increase. So therefore, hemoglobin transports oxygen in the form of oxyhemoglobin. How the reaction that occurs between hemoglobin and oxygen in the lungs explain why this reaction is reversible. Between oxygen in the lungs, you have to write only one dash. So more oxygen plus hemoglobin will give oxyhemoglobin. So the medium that's rich in oxygen. So this reaction is reversible. It's unstable since since oxygen binds in a medium rich with oxygen and they release it in the medium that's poor in oxygen. So this reaction, as I said, this is found in the notes, in the lecture notes. So hemoglobin binds oxygen in the medium rich in oxygen and releases it in the medium poor in oxygen. Why breathlessness is a symptom of anemia? Due to iron deficiency, hemoglobin is not well formed in the body. So this will result in abnormal hemoglobin, which has less capacity to transform oxygen in the form of oxyhemoglobin. This will lead to less transfer of oxygen to the body organs and tissues, which create feeling of breathlessness, this affected person, and result in the acceleration of the heart, the breathing rate to compensate. So you can do this. So this deficiency or weakness or anemia due to deficiency of iron Hemoglobin is not well formed, so less oxygen is transported due to the less capacity. So this is create a feeling of breathlessness. That's why the person has accelerated rate of breathing. Do like this in order to compensate the decrease of the oxygen transport. Let's move to the second part, assimilation and oxygen transport. Assimilation is the mechanism where cells are capable of forming new molecules of proteins. For example, hemoglobin. From where? Amino acid using energy. So the elements needed for this assimilation reaction, they are amino acids and the energy. Hemoglobin is a protein of red blood cells which play a role in the transport of oxygen gas, respiratory gases, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. First, derived from the text, the elements necessary for assimilation. What are they? Amino acid and the energy. Part 2. After the formation of hemoglobin, we measure the quantity of oxygen gas transported by this protein. The results are shown in this table below. We have to transform it into a graph. So a graph should be drawn on a graph paper, should be drawn using a pencil, should be given a title, and all the values should be written down. Analysis. So as the quantity of hemoglobin increases from 4 to 10 arbitrary units, the quantity of oxygen transported increases from 25 to 98. They said that hemoglobin is a functional protein. Why? Because it's responsible for the transportation of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Question number 3, effect of smoking on the transport of oxygen gas. At the level of the pulmonary alveoli, hemoglobin Hb in red blood cells fixes oxygen gas O2, forming an unstable product which is oxyhemoglobin. So in the presence of carbon monoxide in the alveoli, hemoglobin fixes CO, forming a stable product which is HbCO. HbCO that preventing the binding of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Note that CO is a harmful gas containing the fume of tobacco. Studies show the effect of CO on the transport of oxygen gas by hemoglobin. The results are shown in this table. So rate of CO and the quantity of HbO8. As the rate of CO increases, the level of the quantity of HbO8 will decrease. So drawing the graph, as I said, draw the graph using pencil, draw it on graph paper. Question number 2, analyze these results, derive the effect of the transport of oxygen gas. So as the rate of CO in the alveoli increases, so you don't have as increases from 0 to 1, and then as increases from 1 to 1.5, as increases from 1 to 2. No, as it increases from 0.5 to 2.5%, the quantity of HbO8 in blood decreases from 90 to 50%. So the presence of CO inhibits the transport of oxygen in the form of oxyhemoglobin. The inhibition of formation, which is in parallel with the variation in the quantity of CO. So CO, whenever it's present, it blocks the transportation of oxygen by hemoglobin in the form of oxyhemoglobin. Okay, this is everything related to our worksheet or respiration.